All right, y'all, this Big Rich with Puremind, and just my opinion. I want y'all to share this video, hit that like button. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. People want me to talk about these emails and the Trump thing. The thing about it is that Trump's been at fault for this. You know what I mean? The FBI knew, CIA, even Biden knew, If anything, Biden should have stepped up to the plate. He had immunity to go after this guy and stop him from becoming president, but he didn't do it. So he's complicit with anything that went on. They had these things for years. They had one girl who Trump paid off. I think she was 13, 14, if I'm not mistaken. But they all knew. Everybody knew about this. This is nothing new. I want y'all to sit up and listen to Trump and the things that they're saying about Trump, and just listen to this. Epstein, just listen to how sick this is. Y'all got a man that's in here who's already been convicted of the R thing, and it's like y'all treating this man, like he's some kind of saint. He ain't no saint. Just take a listen. Listen to this.
Breaking news rocking Washington, D.C. Never before seen emails released this morning by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, raising new questions about President Trump's relationship with convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The emails provided to Congress by the Epstein estate show private correspondence between Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, and between Epstein and author Michael Wolff, with multiple references to Trump, all raising more questions about what Trump knew and when. Epstein writing in a 2011 email to Maxwell that Trump, quote, spent hours at his house with a sex trafficking victim. Epstein calls Trump in this email a, quote, dog that hasn't barked. We should note it's not clear what exactly Epstein meant by those comments. Let's bring in MSNBC Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Dilanian. Ken, take us through what these emails say and their significance.
Good morning, Anna. Well, the one you just read is perhaps the most important one because it was written by Jeffrey Epstein in 2011, long before Donald Trump's political career, and he used the phrase, the dog that hasn't barked. That's a phrase from a Sherlock Holmes story suggesting a clue. And he says that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted name of a victim, spent hours at my house with him. He's never once been mentioned. And then he uses the phrase police chief, etc. So these emails, essentially what they do is they raise new questions about Donald Trump's longstanding contention that he had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's massive sex trafficking operation. These emails suggest that they don't suggest that Donald Trump was part of it. They suggest, though, that he may have known about it. There was another email written years later to Michael Wolff, the author, from Jeffrey Epstein. And the context here appears to be about Jeffrey Epstein being kicked out of the Mar-a-Lago golf club. Epstein says, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. And then he adds, of course, he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. And then the third email is between Wolff and Epstein, and it's about Wolff telling Epstein that he believes that Trump will be asked in an interview, this is in 2015 as he's running for president, about his relationship with Epstein. And Epstein asked Wolff, if I were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Now, that, of course, suggests that Epstein would be in communication with Trump and would be helping him craft an answer to a media question. And then Wolff answers, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. So again, that suggests that Wolff and Epstein believe that Trump was more involved or has more knowledge of Epstein's operation than he was letting on. Again, none of this is definitive, but this adds to the picture and adds to the questions that both Republicans and Democrats have about what exactly Donald Trump knew about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his sex trafficking of both